always feel like I need to like readjust this camera. It's probably just zoomed in a little bit too much. Camera. This way. Yeah, it's probably sweet. Trying to maximize the amount of space that I have on my desk. I like this chair is down a little bit, and the button for it is weird. It's not where you expect it to be. That's probably better. Just make sure that it's gone live here. Good. Yeah, you can still hear the aircon, but that'll do. And you might hear the neighbours, but that's alright. Let's probably make these hands. Let's get some reference up then. So I think we're still gonna do 4. They did. People either do them just like regular hands, which is kind of weird. Maybe 3. We might even do 3. That might be cool. 3 fingers and a thumb, maybe. Alright. Yes, thank you. Alright. Okay, hands. I could probably put this over here. Just seeing where I'm going to put my reference. This should be fine. Alright. The other thing is whether or not they should wear gloves. Maybe they wear gloves up to the actual fingers and then have like claws for the rest of it. Yeah, just about made it today. The process at the moment will be probably from work, gym, home, straight into streaming pretty much. Like, it's time for, the necessaries, food, shower, all of that. Okay. That seems too high. Let's do that. That's better. Okay. So if the hands, if I model the hands down by the sides, the palm's going to be in here, isn't it? And then this will be the top of the hands. And we'll kind of start making a hand shape like this. And then the thumbs will be on the top. So let's start making like a mitten. And then we'll add a little more geometry. And then start adding the fingers. And we might make this a little thinner first. And I mean, the actual hand part doesn't need to be that long. Something like that anyway. I was gonna. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, probably a bit more than that now. So I have the thumb. And then 3 fingers. Take a little bit more of the size out of here as well. And then we'd have like I mean, they're not human, but something subtle like that, and then we might put these out a little bit. Actually just like rotate these a little bit. So Probably not that much, but something like that. This is all too long as well. So let's do this one. Okay, that didn't come out too bad. For something that I've been dreading for a little while. Yeah, not too bad. Is this gonna... Okay. So let's actually save as a new file. I might scale it up a little bit there. And then we'll get rid of... So we'll make the claws separate, so the fingers will be longer than that, the thumb's fine. We'll add a little more geometry. And we'll just put some, we'll just make some markers for where the claws are going to go. Someone's probably going to be about there. So I'm trying to decide, and I might actually ask. Trying to decide if I entered this Blood Bowl tournament that's happening at a local game store. It's $60 for the entry though, and it does run over 2 days, which would already mean that you know, doing the weekend stream, but maybe we can work something out instead. Let's see what the others think of the price. I thought preference screensaver. See if See if anyone comes back before the stream's over. Yeah, $60 for 2-day tournament, and assuming, well, I think everyone plays 5 rounds, and it's sort of just like most wins if there's a tie, most goals or most touchdowns. It just, I don't know, it seems steep, but maybe not. Because a single day event could cost 40, so, I guess it just depends. And I'm not very good. And I'm also not a very competitive person. But I just want to play more, I think. So I'm gonna... You might not even see these, but I'm gonna make pads. And then we might do... We'll leave it in, but yeah, I might get rid of that. Let's add the claws then. Pens. So. Most have quite big claws. We can't make them too big. And they'll also need to be like, sharp at one end. Something like that. I think maybe a little longer. Yeah, maybe like that. Let's get all 3 and the thumb in as well. We might put... we might put a little bit of a curve in it too. So duplicate, we'll move that one down there. Make that a little smaller. I mean, it looks okay. I think this one needs to be like that. Cool. We might actually push it in a little bit. Yeah, it might be just slightly too long. So maybe something more like that. And then we'll duplicate that one. Pop it in there, make it big and stumpy. Yeah, that looks good. The part that I thought was going to take or be the hardest part is actually starting to become the most finished piece. Okay. I'm wondering if I make this a separate piece, but maybe not. And I think I'm gonna delete these because I don't like them. I could probably refine it, but then I'd have to do the bows, and I prefer this look, I think. I think it's more industrial. Just see what everything looks like duplicated, and then we'll delete half and we'll start refining the design a little bit. So, mirror, duplicate mirror, duplicate mirror, duplicate. It's actually coming along pretty good. The helmet though will need some design modification because obviously it's not really sitting on the head very well. But yeah, I think this is going well. And then maybe just like the back of the boot will bring it in to be in line because they won't have massive heels like that. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have one with the lantern and the pickaxe, and one with the rifle, and one with TNT. So let's make the variants in weapons. We'll make them all in here anyway, and then we can get everything to one scale, and then we can, when we start posing the variants, just delete the weapons that we don't need. So the pickaxe, let's append a symbol, pop that over here. Have to make it so that the hands can go around it, and the fingers that are actually now quite long. So we'll probably make it something like that. The pickaxe I have. Trying to find it. Oh, well, no, I didn't have a pickaxe. Oh, my drawings are gone. Okay, so pickaxe is actually quite long, and then we'll probably just a lot of it's just going to be geometrical shapes, so maybe something like that. So probably not going to be that thick, so we'll drop that down a little bit. And then to the top, I forgot I did that. Brush mask, rectangle. Top's gonna be wider. And then we'll yeah, that should be fine. And then what we'll do is we'll duplicate that. And we'll rotate it 180 and then we'll make it real thin. Sort of like that. And then give it like a top. This is gonna be one big pickaxe. We might have to make it a bit smaller, but we'll see. And then just the one of these again. And then we'll, for the actual pick, we'll probably do a sphere. So append sphere. Let's reduce the geometry a little bit. So something like that, and then we'll make it thin. Like that, and then we'll flatten. And then let's pinch the whole thing to get that point. Let's do it from the top. then we'll just move it back into position a little bit. And then we can kind of shape this a little bit too. We'll also just shape the chamfer. Just bring that up. And do the same on this side. There we go. Something like that anyway. And then we can basically just duplicate. And do a 180. Pop it there, make it a little smaller. Something like that. So I think this can be a bit smaller. So maybe this and maybe a bit shorter. And then we'll move this one down and make it fit the same. This can come down, and then if we just move these, make it a touch smaller, and this one. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Just getting that, just getting the shape down first, and we can work on the details at a later time. Like we can fix up that this isn't straight. So the next was the rifle. I think I drew a better one on this side. No reply yet. That's alright. Okay, rifle. So let's append the cylinder. And we'll make him this way. probably put him over here. What one do I want to do? So there's kind of one that has... I will just have a look on Google quickly. So... I feel like this might be a brand. Maybe yeah, no, that's coming up with something from a video game, which isn't too bad. With the claws though, like we can't make the trigger point too small. So we'll go long rifle. We go like I think this will be good. Okay. So we'll duplicate and add not quite a second barrel, but I think it's like a support, and that almost goes the same length, maybe a bit shorter, and then there's like the part that your hand holds, which is here. So we might just duplicate another sphere. It does need to be pretty thick. So maybe to here, and it pretty much lines up with the back end of the barrel. Remember, we'll still be shading a lot of this as well to make it not just be geometric shapes. And we'll append a cube. Grab that. Ooh. What's going on? Oh, it's grabbing the head. It's grabbing this thing. Cube, and this is sitting just slightly above the barrel, so maybe something like that, and then it's probably about that one. How we we're going so far. So this is starting to get too. It might have been better to build it and had like a height. So like shoulder height maybe. So let's just delete that. Delete. Okay. So something. So I think the whole thing is going to be this tall. So that might give us some better dimensions. So if we do that, and then we'll duplicate another one for the under rail. And then we want to duplicate for the where you hold it again. And then we'll append that cube back in. I gotta stop doing that. So this will house like where the bullets go in and everything like that. It's probably... See, we don't have much room for where... But maybe it does look funny. Maybe it will look funny if it's maybe if we do like that. A little bit longer. Like that. And we can definitely make so something like that. And then the next part will be angled down, which will be the shoulder stock. And then the sort of like, you know, like the that'll be along here as well. So we'll duplicate that. So this comes out at an angle. It's probably about that long. Yeah, that should be fine. Once it's all like shaped, this tapers in as well. I mean, if we were... I'll get rid of that. If I was smart, I'd actually turn it so that I could do some symmetry, but let's just see, so 90. That won't matter. So if we just these have to be rough, but that's okay. I think this part does actually. Do we want a gap? Probably not. Let's just touch it as close as we can, and then we'll move that. This part almost like is. Almost like that shape. Yeah, there we go. And then we can shape this with some symmetry. So if we do X, it should local symmetry that. Yep, perfect. I mean, we can change the angle of symmetry, but it is easier just to do it like this. Probably have turned that one as well, but that's okay. So we've got the rifle, we've got the pickaxe, so we need the lantern and the TNT. I will just take a quick break. Still no response just yet. This part would actually be there. So let's actually just in case anything happens, let's just save that. So where's my BRB? couldn't find my camera. Found it. I might turn the air off, hopefully that'll be a bit better. Hold on. It's so necessary some days, especially coming back from the gym, and then it's just you just that initial heat. But I think we should be okay tonight. So I'll move that over just a tad, and then that one over just a tad. Okay. Alright, so let's add some geometry. Let's actually model a little bit of this. Where's my picture? So we'll start by smoothing all this out. And then I have to kind of work a little backwards, but this will all come down a little bit. Like that. And then this might come up a little bit. And then we're almost like making an edge here. So like that, and then we might just kind of round round that off a bit, and then I think this will be tapered a little bit as well, so like that. That can stay there for a second because we're gonna do the same to this. So we might do the moving first before we smooth anything off. So we'll move this out. Hold on. Move this. And that's already getting the shape that I want there. And then we kind of want a bit for where the trigger comes out. And maybe that's like there. And then this gets pushed in. So something like that. And then we might smooth that. Maybe just like that. And then we might just move that up. And I think we can just use pinch to make an edge here. We might add a little more geometry to this part because it does need to stay. Like some of it does need to stay very sharp because it is metal. I do like that it's like really chunky though. And then for this, also X. And I mean, this can probably have quite a bit of geometry because we're just going to smooth this off really. And we'll round taper this off a little bit too. We might move this up, or maybe just make the so like that, and then we can move this a little bit more. Perfect. And then these will leave the same. There's also a band that goes around this, so let's just duplicate this, and then we'll move that to there, and we'll make that the band size, and then the band width. Sort of just adding some more details to the weapon. Now this is resin, so it might be good to drill the barrels out, but we can do that right at the end if that's really necessary. No, a little bit of a response, but not much. Basically saying it might feel steep, but for 2 days it's probably worth it. We'll see. I don't think it'll sell out very quickly, but probably don't want to leave it too long either. I'm just going to match this. Pretty much want to make this seamless, I think. And again, we can play around with that a little bit, but I think that's going to be pretty good. And then well, I think we'll build the trigger mechanism once it's all posed, because it might be easier. But let's add a little more geometry to this part. And just fix this a little bit. Cool. Pickaxe. Rifle. Done. Well, not done, but ready to go. I'm just wondering if I just move this part in a little bit. Still be higher. But almost to make it a little round here. And then we'll make a very sharp edge there. I think that's going to look better. Perfect. Let's save that too. We don't need that on. I see. All right. TNT. Well, that shouldn't be too difficult. So we won't do the string that's kind of attached to it, because it's probably not necessary. But let's append another cylinder. So we'll keep it nearer his hands just for the moment. So we're thinking like a 3 block of TNT. So, 2, what is that? 2, 3. And then duplicate one for the middle. kind of make the you know, like a band around them. Maybe I'll do 4. Do you think 4 will be better? Let's just see. You're getting quite chunky. Let's just see. So I actually want to make that thinner. And then so 1 up here, and then 1 down here. I do think I want them longer because they'd be in his hands as like a brick. So we might make them a bit longer, but I mean they're relatively easy and that's pretty much done. I just need to decide if I like move, sort of like shape this to the TNT or not, but we'll see. Just making sure it's not gonna rain either, because I need to put some stuff out in the bin. The lantern. So gotta make a decision now. Can we either have the caged lantern, which would be a little harder, or one that has like a hood, like a hooded lantern. So I think we might do that. So let's start with our cylinder rather. And we'll put this next to this. And that's probably a good size. We'll need the spot for the light source. More answers. Yeah, looks like I probably will end up doing this tournament. Let's append a sphere, and then we'll add that as the hood top. trying to line this up as centrally as I can by eye. That's not too bad. Okay, so like that, and then we will go is it trim? Something like that, and then we can duplicate this for the base. And then what we'll actually do is we'll duplicate this and make this a little bigger. And just add. Actually, what if we do that? Perfect, and then we could probably also duplicate this, pull that up, make that. Just make a little like hat thing for it, and then maybe a bit bigger. Gotta always remember that like it's for a print, so things need to be a little bit bigger just so that we can get all those details in. And then we just need a handle, so we can probably take that, pop that there. And then let's just append one of these. I don't know if this will work. But I think if we just kind of trace out a handle with this, it might actually be okay. So we'll connect that there. That'll go there. There. So like that. And then if it's already done Dynamesh, let's just drop it a little bit. We don't necessarily need it to be symmetrical, but let's just see, it's kind of twisted a little bit, and I know this is gonna. I always get this thing where if I put something in solo mode, which is why I try not to do it so often, it I didn't do it this time, but it'll just like remove everything when you move anything. It's just really annoying, and I can't find a clear way to fix it. Because I think if we just like duplicate and then mirror, it should. Oh, it's over there. Okay, well let's delete that. I mean, that's roughly what it'll look like. So we might add some shape to the lantern as well. But we've got all the general shapes now for all the pieces, which is good. I was trying to think if there's anything else to really work on. Because the other thing I was gonna do is do some painting. Because I've got a Crusade game coming up in about 2 weeks. I just need to check something that I haven't forgotten. It's tomorrow, isn't it? Yes. So hold on, what's tomorrow? So that'll be that. So I should probably add some geometry to this before moving it around too much. But I just wanted to give it some shape. Probably add some paneling too, just because like you need to be able to, I mean this will probably unscrew, but let's just we'll make it a little rounder there. We'll bring this forward, this forward, and then the other one forward as well. Yeah. So I think I'll take like another like 10-second break and get set up for some painting. So let's save as I don't actually have a painting stream set up though. So what we might do is put that up and then we'll camera, where's the camera? Let's add a new scene, scene 2. We'll add just wondering if I can just move, like copy this to the other scene. Copy. Paste. Perfect. And then we want copy, paste. And then we want the camera. So that should do. And then if I write this down. just turn this off. Oh yeah, okay. I'll just quickly mute myself. Alright, let me get my paint stuff. feel like every time I paint these guys, I always forget what bone color I use. I guess it doesn't matter too much. Alright, let's do some painting. So can I change... let's go to Twitch. So it's currently Moleman crystals. So if I go... painting... that should hopefully update. So we'll see if it actually does. So this is my Death Guard tank. I realised that just trying to make sure all the cameras in here. Quickly go here. Probably don't need that. I mean, it's going to be a little awkward. Can we just add a background color? That'll do. It's close enough. Yes, I feel like I'm always... Oh, I feel like I'm always forgetting which bone I use, but it really doesn't matter because I pretty much completely douse it with wash anyway, so... And let me just get a brush. I really need to get new brushes. These are not going to do. But I haven't painted a vehicle in a while, so I do have this, which is actually quite nice. It's not going to focus, is it? That's right. So we'll add that to this. And we'll keep that bit blue. Let's paint the cannon bit bone. So this doesn't actually need to be super neat. Neat enough. I'll show you what I'm painting. So neat enough that we're not going to interrupt the other colours. But not too crazy. And this paint scheme is pretty much just base colours, and then everything gets either dunked in a wash or that might be too bright. Let's just do one light. Yeah, everything gets dunked in a wash. Oh, did that change Twitch? Yes, it did. Painting Death Guard. Hell yeah. So I'm just going to go off camera for a second. I think this is the base blue too. Which is good because I'm pretty sure I wash the whole thing. And what I mean by wash is there's these colours. They are called shades now. But back in the day, they were called washes. And yeah, they were good. So what we'll probably do is paint one layer of this. This won't go on to the blue very well. And then we'll paint a second coat. And again, it just has to be accurate enough to cover where we need it to. I wonder if there's a... Is there a wall? I was just wondering if there's a painting Warhammer category. There's Tower Fire Warrior. Space Marine 3. Okay. Warhammer Space Marine Collection. Painting workshop. It's not really a workshop. Painting. Yeah. No, it doesn't look like there's a painting Warhammer. That's fine. Should still just keep us. I didn't update that, so it should still keep us in category art, I think. Okay. Alrighty, where else will we put? This is starting to dry up already. Alright, while that's drying, where else do we want? I feel like all of this is like one bit. Oh, we might do one of the panels in here. Maybe this one. Again, do have to check that. Again, like, it doesn't have to be too neat because we'll be putting a second coat on as well. Little thing there. something like that. And then we'll put a second coat on there as well. So we might do the panels in here too. So we've done, well, we started the top there, panel there, panels on the sides, and maybe something on the back. Let's continue that pattern to there, to this bit. In there. And then we'll do the same. Yeah. The problem with Death Guard is that everything's spiky. So painting and holding things can be detrimental to your fingers. And I probably should have done the trim after, because I'll have to go over a little bit of that. But this bronze color will be different. It's a lot brighter. Do I want to do the front grille? Because then I'd have to do the back. I might do it. I might do this bit and then have a lot of the body blue and then maybe some of the back cream. if I enter this Blood Bowl tournament, I'll need to decide on a team and have that painted as well. Because it's having the team decided, it needs to be done by, I think it's early Feb, so say a month. But from that point, the tournament would only be the following week, I think. Probably the week after, maybe. So again, we'll do multiple codes, and I think my headphones just turned off. Hold on. It's because my music stopped. Where are we at? Now I know the inside of the tank probably won't see too much of it, but still needs to be the same color. Again, probably should have done the metal parts at a later time, but we're here now, so. And again, this will need several coats anyway, so let's just get a good coverage as we can. Let's wash these brushes out because it's probably had quite a few layers now of paint. Starting to get a little bit of heat. How are we going? Yeah, I think a little bit on the back, maybe we don't want too much. Maybe just this section here. Because what I'll do is if I ever get a second one of these, it's basically just do the opposite. Alright, let me just open some windows just quickly. Just seeing if I've got any more replies about that Blood Bowl tournament, but should be going. I feel like my wet palette is tipped to one side, but I don't think it is. Alright, second coat, let's go. Okay, some of these still might need to dry. So let's do parts that I know that should be dry. See if we can get to a point where I can show you the in big quotes weathering process that I do, which is basically like the meme where you dunk the entire model into Agrax. Yes, Agrax. Which is basically a brown watered down paint. So like that's the difference between coat 1 and coat 2. Once it focuses... No, not gonna focus. Coat, 2 coats, 1 coat. Some of these might even need 3. Oh. As I said, every time I turn over, my fingers keep hitting these, and it hurts. It hurts when you don't realize that that's what you're doing. And this would all be quite a lot easier with a spray gun, I believe. So maybe that's something. Spray gun? Spray brush. Airbrush. But, I mean, it's coming along. Oh, I was going to do the back panel too. So, here. Okay, I think this layer went on a bit thick. That's okay. The thing is, any extra like thickness bumps that the paint creates just adds to the Death Guard theme. So I mean, like, this is probably the easiest paint scheme to do because it doesn't have to be accurate to a point. Just doing the underside here. So a few places might need a third. I think that's probably fine. It's got some variation in colour. We've got the white there. Just wondering if we do some more here. But then I'd have to, because this is all almost one piece, even though it's not glued very well. Like, got a seam here. You could make that a seam, but I think that's fine. Could make it a bit asymmetrical though. Yeah, how are we going to do that? Maybe we'll just start painting some of these like connecting bits. So like this guy might be cream and that one might be blue. So like that. And then it might be this guy. And then maybe some bits in here. So like this bit. Probably can't see, but if I actually had the model in camera. just getting a bit of asymmetry there as well. So I might do, there's like a, can't get there, maybe this way. This panel here. Paint that. Maybe. I'll think on that. We'll do one of the exhausts. Again, just for that asymmetry. We've got a lot on this side, so we might do him this side. So this probably isn't very good painting to watch because I need to move the model around quite a bit. And then the camera's probably freaking out trying to work out what to focus on. Good luck. Good luck the focus, I suppose. There we go, it's looking a little more asymmetrical. Just wondering if I can see that this is all connected along here, so maybe not that. There's a bit in there, but I don't think I can get the paintbrush down there. So like, again, it's not going to focus, is it? Just here. It goes like around the cannon. And there's still the gun side. We'll need to decide on how to paint them. Yeah, I think that'll do. Let's just put some second coats on all of this. Or third and fourth coats. fuck? I might have just added too much water to this. Maybe I just add some more paint. Not 100% paint, but pretty close. Because again, if it gloops up a little bit, that's fine, because the wash will pick up all of that. We can't see. Hold on. Alright. We are good. Let's wash up and then we'll put a wash on. This probably needs to dry just a little bit though. Is it gonna focus? Okay. Alright. So this is what putting a wash on looks like. again, there's our main color. And then there's the color with the wash on. Now, as you can see, it's very brown, but that's kind of the point. And we'll do that to all the panels that have this cream color now. Basically just douse it in this brown color. Because these will be the sections that will be the, in quotes, corrupted parts. Which I don't know if it applies on a tank, but the only thing to worry about really is just making sure you're not wiping any of it off with your fingers. But other than that, pretty much just going pretty nuts. Because again, we'll do what I call like bring back the color by sort of dry brushing the cream back in. But this army probably goes through quite a bit of this paint. For good or for better, or for worse rather. It's probably just ends underneath, isn't it? So let's just be very careful where we're putting our hands here. Bring the model back down. I can't see when it's at table height. I think that's pretty much it. give that a second. And then that'll all dry and we'll be left with a funky looking tank. Let's just pop him down there. Just taking a photo, send it to the group. So let me get one of my, do I even have a finished one? Let me get one of my death guards so you can kind of see what it'll look like when it's done. So this guy's probably a good example. No, touched it. Sorry. Although I'm thinking of changing this to a burgundy colour. But let's see if we can find... where's the... I guess the backpack, maybe? So, this cream here, when it refocuses, is what it'll actually look like. So you do add the cream back in. But you wash it heavily first. And that should be drying pretty quickly. this in the fridge. So it will take a long time to dry on this because it's a larger model or larger surface area. But as I said, we'll dry brush back in the cream and it'll look pretty good. But we might do that later. Do I? Because the blue we don't wash. And then the silver we do, but it's not a wash, it's kind of almost like a stain. So it could get stained a little bit blue. There's no skin on this, but that's sort of a pale green. And then, yeah, the metal will actually be this kind of bronze. So this shoulder pad is a good example. Bronze, and then the lighter blue, which you can see is a little bit different. So this blue will be that blue. I'm collecting models over here because of all the ones that I've shown on stream. Hopefully a little bit of it dries so I can show you the dry brushing. Yeah, okay, so this back panel is good. So we'll get some more of that cream. And then we'll kind of, where's my paper? See how we're losing some of the brown, gaining some of the cream back. A little bit here. Feel like now it's got too much water. I think this is still gonna, like, it's, you can see it's still shiny and wet in there. To see if, because this will be a good area to do. See, I'm starting to get, again, more of that cream back in here. Kind of see the difference between the two. But I'll probably finish this up, except for the front bit. Keep spiking myself. Doing here. It's starting to come along. This camera's not super great. I wonder if I just like properties, video. Let's just see if we manually change the exposure. I mean, the auto is actually pretty good. Yeah, if we crank the contrast up a bit. It's starting to look a little easier to tell the difference between the two bits, but huge puddles still on the backside, and my fingers are getting covered. Pretty much coming up to the 3 hours now. I'll let that dry, maybe upside down, so that the bottom can get a bit of air. Pop that away. But let's see. So we did some painting, which is fun. And then I'm just going to scene 2. Pop that off for a second. Camera on. Oh, you can see the kitchen. Hold on. Camera, properties, video. Controls. And then that needs to come up. No, it's spamming. Okay. And we don't need the BRB. Yeah, so we did some painting, did some work on this guy. He's looking pretty good. I might redo the lantern. It's sort of a bit bland, but the rest I think are good, and we'll soften the edges on everything as well that needs it. And maybe do something a bit with that top. So we'll just make sure this is saved. But yeah, next stream tomorrow, same thing. So 7:30 till 10:30, and yeah, I'll see everyone tomorrow. Thank you.